welcome back to my channel. It's Violet here and I am so happy to have you back. So the problem is I can't find the lens for this one, so sometimes I talk like this. I think it's better because mom says I'm gonna get a headache, but I can't find the lens. And I also brought sunglasses because lately it's been sunny here and I don't know if you know this, it's a life hack. If you put sunglasses over your regular glasses, then the prescriptions still work, but it blocks the sun and I think it looks cool. Oh, but I'll put these up here because it's not that bright in the room. This week on my channel, we're gonna be talking about pickup lines and I'm gonna teach you how to get a boyfriend because a lot of you have written me saying that you don't have any boyfriends yet and I'd love to help you find one. I don't have a boyfriend yet because mom says I'm not allowed, but I do feel confident that I could get a couple if I tried. And so I'm gonna use my expertise to help you get a boyfriend. Hi, Violet. Bye. Hey, okay, so here's the thing. Love what you're doing. Those are my people. This is actually my channel. This isn't yours. I mean, this is my channel. I've been making videos for a few weeks. No, so I love having your hair. You look great. Whatever you're doing, it's working. So these are my people. We're in the middle of a series and it's all about beauty. You can stay if you want, but probably I should film the video because I prepared. Do you have any last things you want to tell them before you go, or do you just want to? I probably gotta film. I mean, I just was hoping to help you guys get a boyfriend. I also just had a feeling that Justin Bieber was gonna see this video, which is why I wore my pink lipstick. So Justin, if you're watching, just like leave a comment and like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll write you anytime you want me to write you, or we can meet up if you want to. So that's all though. I hope he sees it. I don't think he's a viewer yet, but like maybe later. Maybe he would now, that because I don't know, maybe he doesn't know the life hack. Justin, I love you. I think you're right, for sure. I guess I'll go. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Jessica. It is so good to have you here. That was fun. Wasn't that cool? That's Violet. We like her. We like to keep these videos light and fun in the midst of some heavy, deep, meaningful conversations that we're having about beauty. This is a series. We are on episode 5 of 6. We're almost done. I don't know what the next one's gonna be about, so if you have any ideas, let me know. First video was about how we are responsible for what's going on inside of ourselves. If we know that, then we can change what's going on inside of ourselves and make it better. Second video was about having clarity. If you have a high level of clarity and vision about where you're going, we'll have high self-esteem and confidence and just overall passion for life. Third video was about overcoming discouragement, disappointment, personal failure. I really like that video. I like all of them. I think you should watch all of them, but that one was good. If you're feeling low, go watch that one. We took a break after that and made a little fun, cute Eloise video. Then last week's video was about, basically I'm asking you the question in that video, what do you have? And I know that the answer is nothing. I already got that. You got nothing. If you're feeling low, you have nothing. What do you have after you're nothing? Go watch the video, it'll make more sense. This week's video is so important. This video is the type of video that when I am dead and gone, and Eloise is a teenager, I mean, I hope I'm not dead and gone when she's a teenager, but say I got swooped up to heaven and Eloise was having to fumble through her teenage years, or you know, one day she's a mom and she's got a little girl, this is the video that I would want them to see, to be able to help them figure out how to be a girl in this crazy world. This video is all about beauty, physical appearance. So the thing is, this series has been about the things that go on inside of us that make us beautiful people, but this video literally is about physical appearance. It's about our beauty. It's about the way we look and what people see when they look at us. Beauty is really important. The way we look communicates something about ourselves. If we take some time to dress a little nicer, put makeup on, shower, I don't know, it communicates something about how we care about ourselves, how we care about others. That's just true. Today I feel a little tired, so perhaps my physical appearance is communicating that. I don't really know. But I did shower and I put some makeup on and I am wearing clothes that are clean for you. Beauty. I think if there was any struggle that I would say is like the most consistent struggle I've had in my whole life, it would be the struggle of wanting to be beautiful, not feeling beautiful. I have mentioned before that I struggled with an eating disorder when I was younger. I've always equated being beautiful to being valuable and happy and powerful, and I think a lot of that is me, but I think a lot of that is the world that we live in. We live in this kind of cuckoo place that puts a lot of pressure on girls to be beautiful. I think guys can get away with being less attractive if they're wealthy, so they have pressure in different areas. I mean, we want guys to be attractive as well, but I think that it's more common to see guys who aren't that attractive, but we're still into them if they are really wildly successful at work or something. But for girls, there's this pressure to be young and beautiful and perfect skin and perfect teeth and perfect hair. And not only are we supposed to be like that like in our 20s or 30s or whatever, but you're supposed to be like that from like middle school, which is just a horrible time of life anyways, very awkward. If you're in middle school, I would love to hug you. That's a hard time. All the way through, I don't know, getting pregnant and aging. There is a pressure on women to look perfect the entire time. I'd love to tell you a story. Actually, in this video, I'm going to tell you quite a few stories because I think it will help paint a picture for the message of this video. And the message is embrace your own beauty. But let me get you there first. This is a tattoo. This is a stick and poke tattoo that I got when I was in Barcelona from a lovely girl named Maria. I love this tattoo, but I have to tell you the story of it. I asked Maria to draw me a tattoo of a little skater girl because I loved the tattoos that she did of surfer girls, and I'm not a surfer girl, though I liked her tattoos so much that I will say I considered surfing just so that I could get one of her tattoos because they're that good. But instead, I asked if she could draw me a skater girl tattoo because I skateboard now. I can ride around on a skateboard, and that's what I did in Barcelona. So I wanted a little symbol of my time in Barcelona, and so she drew me this beautiful tattoo. I got the tattoo. I came home. I was in my first trimester of pregnancy, so I was already a little off, and I decided this. Maria doesn't know this. I don't think she'll watch this video, but if she does, Maria, this is not anything to do with you. When I saw the tattoo, I hated it. I hated all of my tattoos in this time, but this one in particular, I was like, oh my gosh, this girl, like, I thought that her nose looked pointy. I thought that her hair looked like fire. I thought she looked chubby, I think is what I said. I'm looking at Becca because I was texting her about it. I was texting my sister about it. I was telling Sean about it. I was like, she's horrible. I don't know what's wrong with her. And I would look at the drawing that I thought the tattoo was gonna look like. So there's a drawing on paper, and then there's what actually happened on my skin, and they were different. They weren't that different. In my mind, they were like miles apart from each other, but in reality, probably wasn't the case. So I kept like looking down, being like, oh my gosh, I hate it. I would take pictures of it. I would edit it on my phone, like take a picture on my phone. This is so crazy. And like edit it and be like, it would be more beautiful if her nose didn't look like that, and if her forehead didn't look like this, and if her hair wasn't like this. It was pretty bad. I legitimately cried. There was a time when I decided I just wouldn't look at the tattoo anymore. I was up in the middle of the night. It's no wonder, right, that I'm the girl who made the mental hospital video, because this sounds insane. It was a little bit. I would be up in the middle of the night Googling tattoo removal, but also, like I said, for some reason in my first trimester of pregnancy, I hated all of my tattoos, and I have several. So I was deciding that I wanted to remove all of them, prompted by this girl that I didn't like at all. Then, I think Sean, Becca, probably my sister too, stop looking at the one that you thought it was gonna look like, because it's not helping. So I put that little drawing, I still have it, but I put it away, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna look at this anymore, because maybe the problem is this thing is the standard for what I thought it should look like, and now that it doesn't look like that, I'm going a little crazy, so I put it away. Eventually, after a couple of weeks of not looking at the original drawing, I decided that I loved how she looked, and I really genuinely love how she looks now, and I think it's a great tattoo. That's just a light story. There's another one that's slightly heavier. When I was 21, so I'd already struggled with an eating disorder, kind of overcome bulimia, but still struggled a lot with how I saw myself. I went to this event for professionals in the fashion and entertainment industry, and this model walked in. I knew about her. I had heard about her. She's really lovely. She'd been on television. She was well known at the time. And she came in and we ended up sitting next to each other and spending the whole evening together. And she is my age, and actually she's a friend of mine now. At the time, we were just getting to know each other. And when that girl walked in, I felt like I had never seen anyone more beautiful in my whole life. This girl is stunning. If you saw her, she's absolutely unbelievably beautiful. And while I was talking to her, I was overcome with insecurity, like in a crazy way. I think I managed to sound normal, but honestly, I even remember some of the stuff I said, and I think I might have sounded a little bit dumb. But thankfully, our friendship has outlasted all of this, and she probably doesn't remember. But I went home that night, and Sean and I were married, pretty freshly married, and I decided not to tell him about how messed up I was feeling inside, because I was feeling really, really just gross. So I tell Sean that I met this girl. I tell him she was really great. I show him who she is on the internet. He already knew who she was, but we like look at her stuff online. Sean goes to sleep, and that night I went to the bathroom and bawled, like cried so hard, and it was just this overwhelming sense of like, wow, I'm hideous, I'm not good enough, and here this girl is so perfect and she's real. She's not even somebody in a magazine that's been touched up and retouched and all of that. She's a real person, and she looks like this, and she's in this city, and she's my same age. And then here I am, and even if I had an eating disorder, even if I went on a diet and jogged every day for miles, I would still never look like her. It was about bone structure and genetics and things that I couldn't change. I like cried until I fell asleep and then woke up and was like, okay, I'm not gonna look her up online anymore. When I see her, I'm gonna make a point to love her well and like get to know her as a person, because she didn't choose her looks any more than I did, and so hers just happened to look like that. Mine happened to look like this. Over time it got easier and we became real friends, and so that helped a lot. I think the issue was, and the issue has been, this feeling that there is a standard of beauty. There is an expectation that beauty is a thing that exists out there. The closer that I can get to being like that standard over there, the more beautiful I am. And it's tricky, because then we just develop as women and our bodies take on the shape that they have, and some of us look more like that standard, some of us look less like that standard, and even the most beautiful among us, the most praised and celebrated for our appearance, don't feel beautiful, because for whatever reason we're prone to being critical and finding our flaws. And so I've had the opportunity in my life to work with some of the most beautiful people in the world physically. These are professional supermodels, and behind the scenes even they are grumbling about all of their flaws and their imperfections, because there's just something about being a woman right now. Men, you feel it too, I don't want to discount that, but especially for women, that's who I'm talking to right now. It's so prevalent that we don't like ourselves and that we're critical about how we look. And I want to change it. And I want us to be proactive about learning to love the way we look. And that's not easy. I know. I've been in this process myself. I will say, when you're a teenager, it's tricky because your body is taking a shape and you don't really get to choose it. It's just kind of like you're growing, and maybe you'll have big boobs, maybe they'll be small, maybe you'll have big hips, maybe you won't, maybe you'll be tall, maybe you'll be short, and you're just sort of finding out as you go how close your body looks to that standard out there. And that's a hard time. Another kind of challenging time is when you're pregnant. There's also a standard of pregnant beauty. You might not know that yet, but you can find it on Instagram. And it's this kind of helpless feeling of like, even if I'm the most healthy pregnant person that I can be, I still might not achieve this standard of pregnant beauty that's happening out there in the world. Why do I want us to embrace the beauty that we have? I want us to because we are only hurting ourselves by hating who we are. It's hindering us. It's keeping us from relationship. It's keeping us from joy. To be critical about who we are and hate the way we look, it is affecting our lives. And we don't have to live like that. It has to do with our thoughts. 2 reasons why I want us to overcome this. The first is because I believe that we have a designer, and I believe the designer knows a lot about beauty. And that has never meant more to me than it has through working at Fashion Week. I remember I was working a fashion show and there was this one particular outfit I was putting on a model and I thought it was hideous. I thought it looked like a condom. It was like made of plastic, and even the model was like, this is horrible. It was like made of plastic, really weird, and kind of like made her look sweaty even though she wasn't sweating really. It was odd. And I remember like she and I were like exchanging glances that this is an odd outfit. And then some other people came over and started looking at our garments and being like, wow, this is amazing. This designer is really showing that he's able to push limits with fabric and get creative. And it turned out that this garment, even though this one on its own was kind of a weird one, it was actually a part of a bigger picture of all these different pieces he was putting together to show that he was able to be creative with different kind of fabrics. And basically I was gonna embarrass myself if I started talking about how ugly this one particular outfit was, because it showed that I didn't understand anything about this designer. This designer is a world famous designer who knew exactly what he was doing, and this little piece was part of a much bigger story. I then went on to see that exact outfit or something very similar, I guess, on Lady Gaga on the Ellen show. So it turns out the designer knew what they were doing. Through that experience, I started thinking about God, because I believe we were crafted by a God who is a designer and designs very well. I believe that because when I go outside and I see flowers and sunsets and beautiful little baby girls and I don't know, just the beauty of life around us, God made all of those things. He made us too. He's a good designer. Even if you don't believe that, that's okay. Another reason why you should learn to embrace the beauty that's yours is because you're only hurting yourself by not. Going back to the thing that I said earlier, we are hindering our own lives by hating the way we look. This body is going to be ours until we die. There's no like leaving it home when we go out or going to the office and deciding that we're just going to leave it there and then we leave. This is what we've got. This body that we have, it's ours forever. I don't know why we have it. It's just what we have. And if we can decide like, okay, this is our story. This is the shape I was given. The best way to live this life is to write a good story with this shape that I have. And whether you believe you got it from your parents or God or whatever, if you can learn to embrace it and enjoy it, you can move beyond whatever insecurity and yucky, gross, critical feelings you've been having that have been hindering you. Some ways that we can learn to enjoy our own beauty. For me, it was unfollowing some people and kind of getting aggressive about what I was letting into my mind at the time. When I was in my earlier 20s, I was realizing just how much life I was wasting hating the way I looked, and it was a lot. For me, this was a really big struggle. I would think about it all the time. I was comparing myself constantly. It would affect the way I ate. It would affect the way I dressed. It would affect me when I went shopping. Every time I went shopping and something didn't fit, the problem was me. The problem wasn't the clothes. I have since switched that, and I'd love to encourage you in this. If you go to a store and you try on something and it doesn't fit you, the clothes are the problem. Your body's not the problem. Switch it now. Decide that. Decide before you go shopping. If something doesn't fit you right, you're not the problem. The clothes are the problem. Now go find something that fits you really nicely and makes you feel really beautiful. For me, I wanted to be aware of everything that was going into my mind that was fueling my self-hatred, because the self-hatred was really harming me. I was aware of the movies I was watching, even the conversations my friends were having, if they were talking a lot about how much they idolized certain people who I knew were getting surgery or Botox or lip injections at 19, 20 years old. I would decide to disengage from those types of conversations because I didn't need those things added to my already overwhelmed mind. For a time, I would only look in the mirror when I was getting ready, and I would decide that it was going to be a positive experience, and then I wouldn't look in the mirror the rest of the day. I also changed the way I spoke. This is something I want to encourage you guys in. I wouldn't just spew out my insecurities. I've talked about this in previous videos too. I decided that if I was going to say something I felt insecure about, I would do it in a safe way where a friend could encourage me, pray for me. I could just let them know like this is something I'm struggling with, versus doing that thing that is very contagious where you are in the bathroom looking in the mirror with a group of friends and you say, gosh, I'm so fat, and all of a sudden all the people around are like insecure and they're thinking things like, well, if you think you're fat and you're smaller than me, I must be huge. Or someone else says, oh yeah, well my hair looks terrible, or my skin is so broken out, or whatever. I decided to stop doing that. Also, in that same kind of line of thinking, I decided to speak out the beauty I saw all over the place. So I got a little bit bold about complimenting people. I would compliment strangers. I still do it. Eloise does it. It's so fun. We would just see people, and anytime we saw something that we liked in them, I would tell them, always. It was something that Sean just got used to, that I'm at the coffee shop and I see a lady with pretty eyes, and I'm just gonna walk over and I'm gonna tell her. You'd be surprised at how many people I've made cry by just saying simple compliments to women. People who have said back to me, wow, I can't remember the last time I heard someone say I looked beautiful. And so try it. It's contagious as well. It's just like speaking out negative things. The positive thing is contagious. Oh, hang out with little girls and learn from them and the sweetness in which they have when it comes to beauty. Same with grandmas. Grandmas are great because they're beyond this whole thing that we're in right now. They've aged already. Their hair is white. Their eyes are still twinkly. They know a bit more about what matters, and try and be more like them. When I was younger, I thought the only people who were free from insecurity and body image issues were grandmas and little girls. And I have since decided that if we learn from them, we can be free too, prior to hitting that age. A friend of mine was telling me about an article she was reading that said our brains are biologically prone to remember negative stuff. If that's the case, we need to take it upon ourselves to work extra hard to remember the positive, to speak it out, literally standing in front of the mirror and saying, this is what I like about myself. Positive affirmations, they're important, they're valuable. They might feel odd, and that's okay. I don't like to do it all the time, but there have definitely been times of my life where I have needed to interrupt my own thinking and say, no, I don't want to not like myself. I don't want to be critical of my shape, my size, my skin, my hair. This is what I've got, and I will physically speak out things that I like in myself. The last thing is become the best version of you physically that you can be. Do it from a place of love. Don't do it from a place of hatred. So don't go jogging because you hate your body. Go jogging because you love your body, and jogging is good for your body. Eat well because it's good for you and you're valuable and you're worth putting good things into. Do things to take care of yourself because you're worth taking care of. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video and being a part of this series. I so appreciate it. Hey, so my mom, it turns out she's gonna take me for some ice cream, and so I'm not actually gonna film this week's video, but I was thinking you could just tell them that I'm not gonna be filming, but that I'll film next week because I'm gonna go with mom because I'm gonna get ice cream. Okay, I'll tell them. So you're gonna skip this week. Okay, but they can see you next week?
Yeah.
All right, I'll tell them. Okay, bye. Have fun with your mom. Okay, bye. Okay, well, that's it. Bye, and I will see you next week. So good to have you here. See you on Instagram. Love you a lot. Okay, bye.
Just got an Ellie, but Mariana just catch me just in time. And it was right on this hand. I'm independent. After me, I am beautiful. I am smart. I am capable. I am special. I have a really good body. My eyes are really pretty. Done.